As Pro-Chancellor and Chair of Council, and upon the recommendation of the Court of the University, it falls upon me to invite Dr. Maggie Aderin Pocock so that she may formally accept the honour of becoming the new Chancellor of the University of Leicester for a period of 5 years. Thank you all. Don't worry, we're going to do that again in a minute. Please take a seat. Thank you. Chancellors continue a tradition in British universities that date back centuries to the Middle Ages. At Leicester, we've been blessed with 7 previous chancellors within our 101 years, all of great eminence. The first 4, Lord Adrian, Sir Alan Hodgkin, Lord Porter, Sir Michael Atiyah, were immensely distinguished scientists, boasting a clutch of orders of merit, Nobel Prizes, and presidents of the Royal Society. The 5th, Peter Williams, was both a scientist and a successful industrialist. And the 6th, Lord Grocott, was the first former student of Leicester to become Chancellor after carving out important roles in political and parliamentary life. Our outgoing Chancellor is Lord Willets, President of the Resolution Foundation and a former Minister for Universities and Science. In April last year, he was appointed as Chair of the UK Space Agency, and in that capacity, we will maintain a close contact with Leicester and our expanding ambitions to grow our status as the UK's space city. In many respects, the values that Lord Willets championed in respect to fighting inequality, supporting and promoting education, and in particular science and space, are those that are true of our new Chancellor. But it would also be true to say that installing Dr. Maggie as Chancellor of the University of Leicester has broken the mould in the century-old tradition of this great university. Maggie becomes the first woman to hold the title of Chancellor at Leicester. She's the first person from a minority ethnic background to do so here. And if you love that, you're really going to love this last one. She's the first Chancellor to have a Barbie doll fashioned after her. That last one's a feat that I don't see being replicated anytime soon. Chancellors are more than figureheads. They are national ambassadors for the institutions they represent, and they are an inspiration for all who work and study at university. Maggie Aderin Pocock is no exception, although she is exceptional. I would now like to invite our President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nishan Kanagaraja, to tell us a little bit more about Maggie. Thank you.
Dr. Maggie Aderin Pocock is without doubt exceptional. In many respects, she embodies and personifies the values of this university we hold dear. Throughout her life, She has demonstrated an indomitable spirit, and her courage and passion is an inspiration to us all. Maggie grew up on a council estate in the inner city of London. She's the daughter of Nigerian immigrants who divorced when she was just 4. At the age of 8, she was diagnosed with dyslexia, and her early education was split between 13 different schools. But Maggie dreamed big. She's quoted as saying, "As a child growing up, I wanted to reach the stars." Her father always believed in her and her potential. He told her that if she tried really, really hard, anything is possible. Maggie told The Telegraph in 2009, "Thanks to his support, it seemed entirely reasonable to me that with hard work, a black girl with learning difficulties would soon be traveling from inner London to outer space." Maggie has a Bachelor of Science in Physics and a PhD in Mechanical Engineering from Imperial College London. Her career has involved making novel bespoke instrumentation in both industrial and academic environments, ranging from handheld landmine detectors to an optical subsystem for the James Webb Space Telescope, a space instrument that also involves scientists and engineers from this university. She worked on the replacement for the Hubble Space Telescope and for the Ministry of Defense on missile warning systems, and the aerospace industry on a range of projects to monitor the Earth's atmosphere. She also set up her own company that engages children and adults through its tours of the universe. She's an honorary research fellow at University College London's Department of Physics and Astronomy, and has served as the president of the British Science Association. In 2009, she was honored by Our Late Majesty the Queen with an MBE for services to science education, and her career is distinguished with a plethora of awards, including being recognized by the Institute of Physics for her public engagement in physics. And she's the first black woman to win a gold medal in the Physics New Award. Maggie is a familiar face on our television screens. Since 2014, she has co-presented The Sky at Night, our longest-running astronomy television program. Its former presenter, the late, great Sir Patrick Moore, was also an honorary graduate and an honorary distinguished fellow of this university, and closely associated with our space experts, as well as our brainchild, the National Space Center in Leicester. She has also appeared in CBBS on Would I Lie to You, House of Games, and QI, amongst others. Maggie's arrival at Leicester could not be more timely. Earlier this year, we marked the first anniversary of our Space Park Leicester, our collaborative community of industry, academics, and students working together to drive growth in space and space-enabled sectors. We also celebrated the launch of Space City Leicester, one of the largest and most connected enterprise zones for space-related activities in this country. Maggie has come a long way since the time she has admitted she was sitting at the back or in the class, skulking a bit. She was not thwarted when at school she was told to think about other careers instead of trying to become an astronaut, and is quoted as saying, "My dyslexic thinking means I don't just think outside the box, I just think outside the planet." She may not have become an astronaut, but she played one of the children's TV series that inspired her as a child. In the BAFTA-winning stop-motion series The Clangers, about little creatures living peacefully on a planet far, far away, an astronaut puppet is created of her likeness to mark the 50th anniversary of the series. Maggie brings qualities to which others can aspire, of those of hard work and determination, of breaking barriers and surpassing expectations. She has overcome racial, social, and gender barriers throughout her life to a powerful example for others. Even here, science and space science in particular has been a powerful metaphor. She says, in space, race doesn't matter. Nationality doesn't matter. In space, you see the world as a globe, and you don't see the boundaries. She's a role model and a champion for the transformative power of education for which this university stands. Maggie exemplifies our university values. She's inspiring, having overcome significant challenges to achieve great success. As an inclusive institution, it is important for us to walk the walk. And having Maggie as our figurehead sends out the clear signal that Leicester is for everybody. Diversity is our strength. And Maggie is a truly impactful citizen of change, having demystified science for thousands of school children. She challenges people to think differently, to get involved, and to make a difference. For a child who took her first steps when Neil Armstrong took his giant leap, the planets have aligned, and we have a bright star shining upon our stage. A star who less than 5 years ago stood on this very stage to be bestowed an honorary doctorate, Doctor of Science, by this very university, and by the very Chancellor, Lord Willets, who she is succeeding. She is an out-of-this-world exemplar of a citizen of change, and this university takes great pride in the fact she is our Chancellor. Dr. Maggie Aderin Pocock, on the recommendation of the University Court, Gary Dixon, our Pro-Chancellor and Chair of the Council, and I are honoured to install you as the Chancellor of the University of Leicester, and we welcome you amongst us. Before I invite Maggie to say a few words, we have a short video by way of her introduction.
My name is Dr. Maggie Aderin Pocock. I'm a space scientist and science communicator, and I'm incredibly proud to be the new Chancellor of the University of Leicester. People might have seen my face around because I do a number of television programmes. As part of my science communication output, I do a programme called The Sky at Night, the longest running science show in the world. When I was first approached to be Chancellor of the University of Leicester, I must admit I was gobsmacked. But it seemed to make a lot of sense to me. I spent a lot of time in Leicester filming with The Sky at Night. I made a film a few years ago and featured Leicester greatly. And Leicester is a sort of a diverse, vibrant community. So to become part of that was a real honour, and I'm really looking forward to getting started. So for me, it's quite interesting because I know the power of education. As a child, I went to 13 different schools. People sometimes ask, how naughty were you? But it's because my parents split up when I was about 4, and so I moved around a lot. But also, I have a condition called dyslexia, and that meant when I was at school, I was put in the remedial class. I was just thought of the dumb one at the back. But with education and inspiration and lots of fantastic teachers, I was able to go on and get sort of a GCSEs, A-levels, and then a degree and a PhD. And that transformed my life. So being part of the University of Leicester gives me the opportunity to share that with many other people, encouraging people to come to Leicester and get an education too. But one of the things that really touched me, when I was given an honorary degree by the university a few years ago, I found out that the university was founded by the people of Leicester, and as an honour to the people who had been lost in the war. To me, that is a wonderful foundation set up by the people of Leicester, and so to join that just gives me immense joy. So as I start as the new Chancellor, I'd love to give a message to the sort of students of the University of Leicester, and that's that you've come to the right place. This is a place to thrive and grow and to really release your potential. As we said, this university was set up by the people of Leicester, and this is your opportunity to make a difference to the world. So study hard, get that education, and then go out and make a difference in the world.
Pro-Chancellor and Chair of Council, on the recommendation of the University of Court, I would like to present Maggie for installation as Chancellor of the University of Leicester. Congratulations, Maggie. It's a proud honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, graduands and soon-to-be graduated, members of the university, first of all, I'd like to say an incredible thank you for all the love and support that you have given me here today, and it's lovely to count myself amongst you. I would like to say it is an incredible privilege and an honour to be accepting the role of Chancellor here at this magnificent university. As it was mentioned in the video, I've known the university for many years now and often come to film here. And it is partly because of that wonderful heritage in space and astronomy, which spans over 6 decades. And of course, the National Space Centre, where I go often. But first of all, I want to begin by congratulating you graduates and the soon-to-be graduated who I've seen sort of walking across the stage today. Just watching you has been a great joy, seeing the smiles on your faces, that feeling of, yes, we've made it. So, congratulations to each and every one of you. And also congratulations to some of you on your amazing footwear. I mean, I take my hat off to you. There's some pretty good high heels out there. But I'm also excited and very excited about the possibilities that lie ahead of you, because each and every one of you are so full of potential. You have the potential to change the world. You are truly citizens of change. And with this degree from this unique institution, you are stepping out into that new world with new possibilities and new options. It's quite interesting because I remember sort of in the dim back past when I graduated a number of years ago. And I thought that when you graduated, you went and got a job, and then you stayed in a job for 30 years, and at the end you got a carriage clock and that was it. But life is so different now. Just through my career, I've done a variety of different things, explored different arenas. And so I think that's what will happen to you too. One of the things I've learned is that as you go along through your careers and through your degrees, you pick up things on the way, skills, and those skills can be used in so many different places. So as you go, I've worked out also that there's no wrong direction. My heart has always been reaching for the stars, but I started off working for the Ministry of Defence, but I picked up skills there which I was able to transfer to other places. So keep those lifelong learning skills, because they will they'll hold you in good stead in the future. I also want to congratulate your families who are here today, sort of friends, families, supporters, those who are here and those who are back home watching online. They are often the unsung heroes in your stories, and I know the difference they make. And Nishan kindly mentioned my father, who had a big impact on my life. He told me literally to reach for the stars, to not limit yourself by other people's expectations. And with that support and encouragement from him and many others, I was able to do just that. I still want to get out into space. It's crazy, but I still want to get out there. So yes, I think with help and support, you can sort of change the world. And there I'd like to turn to the sort of academic, professional, technical and support staff here today as well, because each and every one of you play a vital role within the university's success. Education truly changes lives, and I'm on a mission to try and make education available to everybody, for the disenfranchised, the disadvantaged, for those who feel excluded, as I did at school. And as educators, we can work together and we can make the world a better place, starting with one child at a time. Now, as this is my first address to you as Chancellor, I'd like to just speak about some of my life experiences and some of the lessons that I've learned on the way. And firstly, what I'd like to talk about is sort of, in times of change and uncertainty, look for opportunities. And Nishan mentioned that I went to 13 different schools when I was growing up. For some people, I met a kid a few years ago, and when they were told that, they looked at me in horror and said, "How naughty were you?" And I tried to explain it wasn't quite like that. I just went to a lot of schools because my parents sort of split up. But it turns out that going to lots of schools was actually an advantage in the end. I remember I had big dreams of getting into space and becoming a space scientist and doing all these crazy things. But at school, I was at the bottom of the class, put in the support group at school, left with the safety scissors and the glue. But I remember when I got to my 13th school, they asked me what stream I should be in, top stream, middle stream, lower stream. And so I ad-libbed, let's say. I said that I think I should be in the top stream. So they put me in the top stream and I worked my socks off. I didn't watch television for 2 years, and that's when Dallas was on. So I really I saw this opportunity and I took it with both hands. And that's what enabled me to get my the GCSEs, the A-levels, and then the degree and my PhD in physics. So I think it is important that we grab these opportunities. And as you leave here from this fantastic university, you will find those opportunities. Grab them with both hands and see where they take you. Another thing I've learned, think big and think crazy. It sounds mad, but it's what we need. All my life I've wanted to get into space, but as Nishan said, I was quite discouraged by many people who thought, a black dyslexic kid at the back of the class, how can you be a space scientist? But when you've got that big, crazy dream, it drives you on. And what I found out is that success isn't about not falling over, it's about how you pick yourself up when you do fall over. Life is full of hurdles, but it's about picking yourself up. And when you have that big, crazy dream driving you on, it means that you're more likely to pick yourself up, to brush yourself off, to learn from that mistake, and then find a different route to get to your goal. So each and every one of you needs to have a crazy dream. And that crazy dream can see in many different places. Here in the university, there are aspirations for space, to become the space city. These are big, powerful dreams that drive us on. And looking out into ground-based astronomy, looking at the telescopes out there, large telescopes like the VLT, the Very Large Telescope. In a few months' time, I'm going out to see the ELT, the Extremely Large Telescope. And the telescope I hope to see in my lifetime, we simply call the OWL, the Overwhelmingly Large Telescope. We're thinking big and we're thinking crazy, and that's something we all need to do. Third lesson, which I think is probably the most important, is that together we can achieve the seemingly impossible. And it's about that together, because it's about community, it's about a common vision, it's about teamwork, it's about working together. We face challenges throughout the world, both local and global, but when we work together, we can actually take on those challenges, take on the challenges of climate, take on the challenges of equality for all. It's about not accepting the world as it is, but seeing where the deficits are and taking those deficits on and making the world a better place. That's what's happening here in the university. This is a champion of diversity and inclusion. These are our priorities, and it's making that change. Now, we're old, but we're passing that responsibility on to you. We have, in some ways, made a mess in some places, but we pass that responsibility on to you. But I know that our future is in good hands. You will take on these challenges and make the world a better place in the future. To conclude, because I've been whittering on here for a while, I'd just like to say what a privilege it is to be the first new Chancellor in the second century of this great institution. Over the past 100 years, the institution has made world-changing impacts, produced individuals that have made lasting contributions. This university was born out of the First World War as a symbol of hope for the future. We will carry on that torch of hope into the next century. We will kindle that hope in others who see the power of education to transform lives. We will be the torchbearers of equality, diversity, and inclusion in higher education. We will continue to advance knowledge through trailblazing research. I joined Leicester at a time where space credentials and ambitions have reached new heights with the Space City and the Space Park. It is truly time to reach for the stars, for the university and for you too. I'd just like to say I am incredibly proud to be the first female Chancellor of an ethnic minority to be leading this university. So thank you, but I'd like to thank the previous Chancellor, Lord Willits, because I have some pretty big shoes to fill. And I hope that I can serve you well.
that's enough about shoes. I will move on and continue admiring your shoes on the stage. But congratulations to each and every one of you, and know that you are citizens of change. Thank you.